Let's get ready to rumble!
DAZN have that Aaron Pryor work rate. That's because they have two promoters under one banner giving us content. Pretty much like when Frank Warren and Barry Hearn used to give us content on ITV. This is good. So we see Montana Love fighting for the WBA Intercontinental Super Lightweight title. This is in his hometown of Cleveland. He's the headline against Steve Spark from Australia. Montana is 18-0, 1 draw. Spark is 15-2-0. Christian Tapia, 15-0. He takes on Thomas Matisse, 19-3-1 for the WBC Continental America's Super Featherweight title. And we have the new kid on the block for Matchroom. Fresh out of TMT, Richardson Hitchins, 14-0, takes on Yomar Alamo, who is 21-1 for the IBF North American Super Lightweight title. Yeah. Raymond Ford, decent fighter as well. He's got 1 draw in his record, 12 wins, no defeats against Zakaria Lucas, who's 25-1-1 for the WBA Continental America's Featherweight title. And there's 3 6-rounders on there with guys I'm not very familiar with, so I'll leave that for now. Not a bad card. Matchmaker Kevin Rooney Jr., is that Kevin Rooney Sr.'s son? Floyd Mayweather, he's fighting on DAZN on the same day as well, isn't he? He's taking on KSI's brother. He's not interested in a Ricky Hatton exhibition rematch. Isn't Ricky fighting Barrera this weekend? That's on Boxer, isn't it? That's on Sky. It initially got cancelled when the Queen passed away a couple of months back. And before any suggestion, I'm hyping up the Floyd Mayweather event. I'm not paying for it. It's pay-per-view on DAZN, but not for me. Sonny Edwards said that Julio Cesar Martinez asked for $1 million to fight him, and that's why DAZN didn't go through with the fight. It would have been a unification, WBC against IBF. Instead, Sonny takes on the number 3 ranked. It's a highly ranked challenger he's taking on in Felix Alvarado. The fight will take place at the Sheffield Arena, United Kingdom. Now, when the house started falling down around Daniel Kinahan, ProBellum lost their Eurosport deal. And Sonny's title defense will be on the FITE network, which, what is that exactly? Is that free to air on FITE, or is that pay-per-view on FITE? I mean, it's just not going to happen for him in this market here. DAZN, BT, Sky, or Channel 5. That's where you have to be. How do we have a world champion from the UK fighting on FITE while you're associated with ProBellum and they're threatening to stop you traveling to America, have you come up on the witness stand and testify? I don't think Eddie or Frank Warren is going to be fucking with Sonny or Ben Shalom or the Wassums. I don't think they're going to be fucking with you right now. With ProBellum, I don't want to put the kiss on death on ProBellum. I could be wrong. You know, because Bob Arum, who said, we're not going to have anything to do with ProBellum, but yet, isn't Inouye going to fight Paul Butler for the undisputed World Bantamweight title in December? Now, Arum is probably going to say, well, he's not promoting it. The Japanese are promoting it. It's in Japan. But he's still signed to Bob, so technically, he hasn't totally cut ties with that link. Top Rank ain't going to broadcast that fight on ESPN. But look, Bob's a hypocrite. All promoters are hypocrites. All of them. All of them. Let's keep it real. I don't know if Sonny should have left Frank Warren in all truth. I really don't know. Frank busy. November the 11th. York Hall. The Scouse firework they're calling him here on boxing scene. Nick Bull will be ignited once again in the defense of his WBC Silver Featherweight title. Last time out. Was it last time out? Well, the last time I saw him, he was beating up Tyson Fury's cousin on the undercard of the Dillian White defense. He looks very exciting. David Adeleye, the heavyweight prospect, he's back in his 10th pro fight. Frank Warren said he'd have no issue putting David Adeleye in there with the winner of Nathan Gorman versus Fabio Wardley. And then Saturday, we see Queensbury's middleweight hope, Denzel Bentley from Battersea, and to your man JANIBEK. We don't do wheelchairs in Battersea. I'm not from Battersea, but I'm an honorary member. Supporting my boy Denzel. We don't do wheelchairs, mate. And yeah, it's an awesome task taking on this Kazakh, highly touted Kazakh fighter, JANIBEK Alimkhanulai. JANIBEK is a huge favourite though, yeah? But Denzel must not freeze on the big occasion. That's the most we can ask for Denzel, is he doesn't freeze. A lot of stuff happening in the UK this weekend. You got Natasha Jonas versus Marie-Eve Dicaire. Very tall opponent there for Tash. And Dalton Grant takes on Casey Benjamin for the £140 British title. 3 titles on the line for Natasha Jonas at super welterweight. Fraser Clark, he's also on the bill, taking on Kamil Sokolowski. Now, as Boxing Scene points out here, opposing business interests could prevent Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz from fighting at any point in the near future. Now, an eliminator was ordered at 135 by the WBC between Stevenson and Cruz. Stevenson is currently listed as the 4th ranked lightweight in the recent WBC rankings. And they say here Stevenson figures to move up to the 3rd spot when the WBC next release their ratings, because George Kambosos lost the 12-rounder to Devin Haney in their immediate rematch in October. Stevenson couldn't make the weight in his last defense at 130 against the Brazilian Conceição and had to relinquish his WBC and WBO titles as a result. Are they keeping Cruz warm for a rematch with Tank, the PBC? Could be. We've seen that already. Why not give us an eliminator between Shakur and Cruz? You know what I mean? It's a good fight, but we'll see. Now, I've done some research. I didn't stay on it for ages because life's too short. But Jermall Charlo last defended his belt in June of 2021. That was a voluntary. Derevyanchenko was a voluntary. Dennis Hogan was a voluntary. Brandon Adams, I tried to find out if that was a voluntary. I'm going to assume it was. If I'm wrong, I stand corrected. And I apologize to Jermall. No problem. But he's never made a voluntary defense. And he's had the belt since 2019. Since June 2019. We're going into 2023. Not one voluntary defense. But yet the WBC are holding off making Carlos Adames the mandatory challenger. They named a lot of mandatories at the convention. And Carlos Adames wasn't one of them. Sometimes your face don't fit for various reasons, and it is what it is. Now, the Dominican middleweight publicly petitioned the WBC to name him the mandatory. But Suleiman expressed patience while they wait to find out when Charlo decides to fight again. Hasn't boxed since June 2021 and doesn't have a fight scheduled. Now, Suleiman said Charlo is currently recovering from an injury. Perhaps Joe Cordina should have fought for the title with the WBC. Suleiman said this is why they ordered the interim championship. We will assess what the status of Jermall is, and in the meantime, Carlos Adames is free to defend the interim belt. So there is no issue. Yeah, there is an issue. He's never fought a mandatory whether he's injured or not. There is an issue. And you're giving him more time. Now, Charlo withdrew from the Selecki fight, which nobody wanted. It was being shouted down from everywhere. That was in June of this year. He claimed a back injury, but Boxing Scene claimed they've been informed that he's recovered from that injury and has been tending to personal matters. We saw his wife or his partner coming out, airing out family business, financial issues that he had, etc., etc. And it says here, Charlo's lengthy layoff caused the WBC to order an interim middleweight championship bout against Adames and Montiel. Montiel gave Charlo all he could handle in a distance fight. Adames blew him away in the 3rd. The WBC apparently going to make Jaime Munguia the #1 contender at 160. Will he take on Adames? I don't think he'll take on Adames. They're matching Munguia very carefully. I don't see it. It says here that Munguia turned down an opportunity to fight an eliminator against Adames in March. So what's changed? They're saying here Munguia, 26 years of age, is scheduled to square off against Argentina's Gonzalo Gaston, who's 21-5 with 8 knockouts. I mean, it's a joke, man. This guy walked out of mandatory shots against Andrade. He's doing it here against Adames. They pulled him out of fights with Triple G back in the day. It's a joke. This Munguia thing's becoming a joke. Someone in the comment section is saying it was actually Adames who pulled out of the fight with Munguia on DAZN. He's saying it came from Adames' trainer's own mouth. Well, fair enough. Well, you know, if they make the fight now, let's see the fight happen. Let's see. They should make it for the full title and let Jermall get the first crack at the winner. That might make him get off his ass and fucking do something. But while you're just letting him hold the belt while he's lounging or doing whatever he's doing, trying to sort out his personal life, what good is that for the 160-pound division? Come on, man. Okay, so Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. The rematch is scheduled for the 4th of February, 2023. And it will be pay-per-view on Sky in the UK. Ben Shalom has confirmed. Well, they're struggling to get genuine pay-per-view attractions over there, despite people saying that Sky have taken over from Matchroom. And this is what I'm saying about people. And it's a dangerous world. It's a dangerous world because all it takes is a bunch of people who haven't thought through this mantra to keep repeating it and keep repeating it. And it appears to be a reality. When the truth is, they haven't had no one since Kelbrook and Khan, Sky, who has pushed the needle to a high number on the pay-per-view barometer. That's the absolute truth. That's 100% the truth. Is this a pay-per-view fight? When's the last time Catterall done anything near a pay-per-view? Or Josh Taylor in the UK? When Josh Taylor unified against Progress in the United Kingdom, they needed Derek Chisora. Didn't you see Derek Chisora complaining? You need to pay me more money. They're coming to see me. You're using me to sell your unification fight because nobody knows these guys. And as crazy as Derek is, he had a point, didn't he?
Who's the main event of this fight?
Who's the main event?
Yeah.
The gentleman sitting next to you.
Oh, mate, that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to sell out O2 for them guys to be the main event. So these guys wouldn't sell box office by themselves. So fuck that. So either you give me a main event or else pull me out of the fucking show.
Okay. Let's talk about that fight.
No, I'm just being serious. You're trying to bombard me like you want me to sell it out to my London crowd, to my London fans, and then you want to put these little guys, nobody knows about them, on my show, and then trying to mug me off. Fuck that.
And I've sussed out the play here. They're looking at the controversy on previous Sky cards. Groves versus Carl Froch won. They stopped the fight controversially when Groves was doing very well. In fact, Groves was up on all scorecards, decked Froch in the first round. Then the rematch did the 80,000 crowd at Wembley. The first fight done 47,000 pay-per-views. The second done 355,000. Thing is though, Froch was doing pay-per-view before. He just became a pay-per-view attraction when he was fighting Mikkel Kessler, shortly after he beat Lucien Boutte. Wasn't doing big numbers, but he was one of the more visible fighters in the UK at that time. Josh Taylor isn't even there yet, where Froch was when he was fighting Kessler and doing 32,000. Now, they'll do more than 32,000. The thing is, the first fight was in February, and it caused a stink of a controversy. But that was in February. A lot has happened since then. The hype has died down. It's going to be a year in between the first fight and the rematch. It was half a year between the first Groves and Froch fight and the second. The first one was on the 23rd of the 11th, 2013, and the second was on the 31st of May, 2014. Carl Froch's last fight. You got to strike while the iron's hot, while people are still talking about it. It's just taken too long. They will recover some of the momentum lost because it's unfinished business. But the rematch should have happened by September this year, 2022. That's when it should have happened. Not 5 months after September. And certainly not a year after the first fight. But modern day boxing is slowed down to a snail's pace just to get fights across the line. It's not the worst pay-per-view. I've seen people put on worse in the UK, including Matchroom. It's not the worst, but I guess you got to start somewhere with Josh Taylor. I guess you got to start somewhere. Will you pay for it? If you're subscribed to Sky, will you pay for this? Even if you're not subscribed to Sky, you can still get access to it. I'm not going to pay for it. I don't think I am anyway. I might do, actually. I might do. Let me not write that off. I might do. Let's see how they promote it and let's see what undercard they put on. I might well pay for it, to be honest. I'll change my mind. In fact, I will pay for it. I will buy it. Not for $25 though. $19.99. Wow. What a difference not even a year can make. Next time around, it will be for one belt. The first fight was for all 4 main sanctioning straps. But that doesn't bother me. That don't bother me. If you want to have any say of being top dog at 140, you've got to go see Josh Taylor. Unified Junior Flyweight Champion KENSHIRO TERAJI is being ordered by the WBC to take on Heki Butler, the South African. This is Teraji's mandatory. But it looks like a unification with Jonathan Bomba Gonzalez, a Puerto Rican fighter who holds the WBO belt, is being explored between Gonzalez and Teraji. Now, Gonzalez and Teraji will have to file for an exception to avoid ordered title fights in their respective sanctioning bodies. Now, the Heki Butler fight is due to take place in March 2023, 1 year from the date when Teraji regained his WBC 108-pound title. The ruling comes barely 2 weeks after the WBO declared that Gonzalez is due to make a mandatory defense himself. The fight has not been ordered yet, and the WBO are still yet to reveal a suitable challenger yet. Man, remember when AJ had to fight Povetkin? One of his obligations he had having 3 straps, and all the Wilder fans were saying unification supersedes mandatory. That became their phrase. Kept repeating it and kept repeating it. Well, it looks like both teams want to unify, and both of them will have to get a pass from the sanctioning bodies just to get the fight done. I said it then, and I say it now. Unless you see unification supersedes mandatory playing out on the actual battlefield, which you don't, then how can you say it's a tangible thing? Once in a while we get unifications, but nowhere near regular enough. You know, once in a while. What do they say? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. But you wouldn't want that clock to keep time. Anyway, I hope this Teraji Gonzalez fight happens, because I am looking forward to seeing more of Teraji. And Jonathan Bomba, not Bomba Clarta, Bomba Cleat. I'm not trying to be provocative. His name is Bomba Gonzalez. Has come back from 3 stoppage defeats to become champion. So you're calling people bums, running your mouth. Boxing is a game of perseverance as well. Never forget that.